Hello there, you're watching our television. This is State of Business. I am Pamutha Katugampala. Let's look at the headlines. Asian Development Bank pledges another loan facility. Indian rupee to be made a designated currency in Sri Lanka, central bank governor says. Welcome back, you're watching State of Business. Now let's have a detailed look at today's stories. Now, the Asian Development Bank has agreed to provide a special loan facility of $350 million to Sri Lanka. This is revealed by the Cabinet spokesman, Minister Bandula Gunawardena, yesterday. The Cabinet of Ministers on Monday approved plans to obtain new financial and technical support from the Asian Development Bank in order to aid the ongoing recovery from the economic crisis. Support will be provided based on the country's policies, along with another loan grant of $1.5 million as technical assistance in order to strengthen the stability and administration. The Cabinet approved the proposal furnished by President Ranil Wickremesinghe to entrust the responsibility to the Ministry Secretary for processing the further activities on obtaining the relevant loan. The President did so in his capacity as the Minister of Finance, Economic Stabilization and National Policies. To date, Asian Development Bank has committed 482 public sector loans, grants and technical assistance to Sri Lanka. The entirety of these fund facilities accumulate to $11.2 billion. Further, ADB disbursed $784 million to Sri Lanka in 2022 and committed $200 million in an emergency assistance loan. Asian Development Bank's ongoing sovereign portfolio in Sri Lanka includes 41 loans and one grant worth $3.64 billion. Now, Cabinet approves the appointment of a special task force to come up with a master plan for the development and the preservation of the natural beauty of the Nuwara district. Cabinet spokesman Bandula Gunawardena said at the post-Cabinet meeting media briefing yesterday. Minister Gunawardena said the government has begun preparation to develop Nuwara to preserve the scenic beauty and ban the construction of buildings above 4 stories in the major tourist city. According to the minister, the move aims to put an end to the unplanned spreading out of buildings in Nuwara. This was included in the government's new town development plan and Nuwara tourism plan. Minister Gunawardena said the President, in his recent visit to Nuwara, insisted on the importance of developing the district, enabling it to attract tourists throughout the year. The task force will be headed by the Governor of the Central Provinces under the coordination of the President's Office with the contribution of all relevant parties. The Urban Development Authority has begun given authority to issue required regulations stipulated by its Act. Nicknamed Little England due to its cool climate and colonial-era bungalows, Nuwara boasts a dramatic landscape. Some of its more popular tourist attractions are Moon Plains, Horton Plains National Park, Lovers Leap Falls and Ambewala Farms. The proposal to this effect was submitted by President Wickremesinghe and was approved by the Cabinet of Ministers at its meeting on Monday. Meanwhile, President Ranil Wickremesinghe announced that a Cabinet Committee for Education has been appointed and the education system cannot be subjected to disruption. The President said this during the Mathura Rahula College centenary ceremony, which was held recently.
රටේ අධ්‍යාපන ක්‍රමය වක්‍රව හෝ ඍජුව කඩාකප්පල් කරන්නට බාධා කරන්නට කාටවත් ඉඩ දෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඉඩ දෙන්න බෑ. වුවමනා නම් ඒකට නීතිත් අපි ගේන්න තිබෙනවා. අධ්‍යාපන ඇමති සුසිල් ප්‍රේමජයන්ත මහතුමත් මමත් කතා කළා. අපි ඊයේ කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලයේ අධ්‍යාපනය පිළිබඳ කැබිනට් කොමිටියක් පත් කරා. මමත් ඉන්නවා, අගමැතිතුමත් ඉන්නවා, එතුමත් ඉන්නවා. තවත් ඇමතිවරු කීප දෙනෙක් පත් කරලා තියෙනවා. අනාගතයට ඕන අධ්‍යාපන ක්‍රමය දිහා බලන්න. අපේ ජාතික අධ්‍යාපන කොමිසමෙන් වාර්තා දීලා තියෙනවා. ඒවා 100%ක් මම සෑහීමටපත් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒවා හොඳ කරුණු ගණනාවක් තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම පාර්ලිමේන්තු කාර්යක සභාව කියොත් දැන් අපිට වාර්තා දෙන්න යනවා. තවත් අංශ ගණනාවකින් අපිට වාර්තා ලැබෙන්න යනවා. තාක්ෂණ අමාත්‍යාංශය. මේ අයිදියා බල්ලා මේ අරමුණ අනුව අපි කොහොමද ක්‍රියා කරන්නේ? ප්‍රමුඛත්වයේ දෙන්නේ කොතෙන්ටද? අන්නේ වැඩ කටයුතු අනුව යන්න තියෙන්නේ.
Stay tuned for more stories after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. You're watching State of Business. Now, China Merchants Port Holdings says it is teaming up with Sri Lanka's Access Engineering and Colombo Port to set up a $392 million logistics centre as a build-operate-transfer project. Sources from the CM portal reveal that an 80-story building with 530,000 cubic metre capacity will be built in the centre of Colombo Port. South Asia Commercial and Logistics Hub will be a 50-year build-operated transfer project with CM Port holding a 70% stake and Access Engineering and Sri Lanka Ports Authority holding 15% each. A later statement said the project will result in an infusion of $126 million in addition to an upfront payment of $26 million after the agreement is signed. The construction of an 8-story building will begin in the second half of 2023 and is expected to be completed by end 2025. It will be linked to the Katunayake Airport via a port access elevated highway. It will also offer services including multi-country consolidation, container freight station, general warehousing and value-added services. The project has also been designed to provide an ideal platform for the registration of hub companies, which will enjoy tax concessions, in many ways attracting the investors. Meanwhile, State Minister for Finance Ranjit Simbalapati said that 2 million families suffering from poverty are to receive welfare relief. He recently made a statement saying that welfare relief program will commence from the 1st of July. According to the State Minister, 400,000 families were identified under the category of extreme poor and will be entitled to a monthly subsidy of 15,000 rupees for a period of 3 years. Also, about 800,000 families identified under the category of poor will receive 8,500 rupees per month for 3 years. Another 500,000 families identified under the category of endangered will receive 5,000 rupees a month until till March 3 next year. State Minister Simbalapati said about 500,000 families under the transitional category will receive monthly benefits of 2,500 rupees till December 31st of this year. He also said Parliament has the power to increase the period during which these benefits are provided and the number of families included in it, and it is the government's expectation to empower them during the relevant period. According to a World Bank report released in 2019, about 12% of the people receiving benefits from the welfare programs of the Sri Lankan government are higher income earners. Simbalapati said that after the list of subsidy beneficiaries is published, there would be opportunity to protest and file appeals. Now, Sri Lanka was positioned at 73 out of 139 countries with a score of 2.8 in the Global Logistics Performance Index by the World Bank, which was released recently. This year's LPI saw an improvement for Sri Lanka from the 92nd position it was placed in the previous assessment of 2018. Sri Lanka has an LPI score of 2.8 in the 2023 index released last week, whilst in the list the score was 2.65. Sri Lanka has been ranked at number 73 along with Argentina, Montenegro, Rwanda, Serbia and Solomon Islands. In terms of infrastructure, Sri Lanka's ranking improved to 89th place from 104th in the previous report. Logistics competence and quality of the country was ranked at number 81st, up from 85th. Sri Lanka was ranked 59th in terms of timelines, up from 113th. In tracking and tracing, Sri Lanka was 65th, up from 81st. and in international shipments, Sri Lanka rose to 75th as against 108th in 2018 ranking. Although in terms of customs, Sri Lanka has slipped to 84th position from 77th place. The World Bank's LPI is a measure of countries' ability to move goods across borders with speed and reliability. According to the World Bank, improving clearance processes and investing in infrastructure, digital technologies and environmental sustainability is bound to help developing countries boost competitiveness in logistics. Stay tuned, we'll be right back with a stock update.
IWS Aviation.
Welcome back, you're watching State of Business, and now the stock update. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on negative notes today. The OSHA price index dropped 61.97 points to close at 9,125.32, and the S&P 20 dropped 26.28 points to close at 2,656.88. The turnover was 1.1 billion rupees and over 61 million shares were traded. Coming up next are Forex rates. And with that, we wind up for the day. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
State of Business was sponsored by